worried about them gamers. But Shereé, Phaedra is a housewife gamer. That's the gag. We are realizing that Phaedra is a gamer housewife, okay? Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now if this is your first time here, hey, welcome. My name is Dianne and I'm super excited that you found your way here. We are on episode 4, okay? Episode 4. We getting them out. We are getting these things out, and I'm so excited that you guys are taking this journey with me. Now listen, at the pace that I'm going, okay, by next week's episode, by that Thursday drop, oh baby, I will be there. I will be all caught up and I'll be able to have the conversation with you guys on time, okay? I am so excited. If you have not already watched my first impressions video, make sure you check that out. I have also done episode recaps for episodes 1, episode 2, episode 3. So make sure you go back and watch that. But come back, okay? Go watch those, but then come back, okay? If you have already watched those and you are already caught up, then let's go ahead and get into episode 4 because baby, this episode was cold. This was a cold episode and I'm so excited to get into it with you guys. So let's dive right on in, okay? Damn. So in the last episode, we leave off with Parvati coming to the realization she couldn't get John, she couldn't get Shereé, and she couldn't get MJ to drink from the cup. And so now because time is running out, baby, somebody has to drink from the chalice. Somebody has to drink from their chalice. Okay? And so she had set her eyes on somebody, but the episode ended before we could find out who. So going into this episode, we start off with her working the room and she's having the conversations. So at this point, Dan and Ekin-Su are talking, right? And as Dan and Ekin-Su are talking, Ekin-Su makes a statement and she's like, I'm going to get these traitors. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm going to make sure I take each one of them down one by one. And as she finishes, that's when, oh, this was so smooth. It was so smooth. I don't know if it was editing or if this was real time, but it was so smooth because as Ekin-Su finished the sentence and she said one by one I'm going to take them out, by the time Ekin-Su got to the words I'm going to take them out, Parvati was standing right in front of her and she was like cheers and handed her the chalice, and then Ekin-Su was like cheers, and then she was like go ahead, you can have it, and then the girl drinks from the cup. She drinks from the poisonous chalice. When I tell you, can't even flip my hair right because I'm so excited. When I tell you that this was so smooth, baby, Parvati did that so smooth. Dan, who was in the conversation and sitting right there, didn't even notice. He didn't even notice what happened. The girl, Slick Rick. Black Widow, not. That girl is Slick Rick. Do you understand me? She did that mess so smooth and so undetectable. Ekin-Su had no clue. And here is the cold part. After it happens, her and Ekin-Su do this little pinky promise, like, we're friends, we love each other. They throw out I love yous. Like, it's obvious that Ekin-Su really trusts Parvati and really likes Parvati and is really close to Parvati in the game. So for Parvati to be able to do that to somebody who was so close to her without thinking twice, baby, that's a cold such and such and such and such. That woman is a cold such and such and such and such. And I'm gonna tell you right now, moving forward, my girl gonna have to go into retirement. Parvati, you are going to have to go into retirement because two things are going to happen in the future. If you play any after this, if you play any other games, baby, 1, they're going to get you out first. Or 2, no one's going to trust you. Because when I tell you, I don't even have words. I don't even have words. But baby, this has solidified you. If you weren't already, okay? Because you probably were already. But if you were not already, this one move right here has solidified you as public enemy number 1 in all games moving forward. Baby, go into retirement. Because that right there, oh, that was so good. It was so good and so smooth. Like, Dan was in the conversation. He was having a conversation with Ekin-Su. It was a whole conversation happening. And she just crept right on in there. Oh, I guess she is the Black Widow, because crawled right on in there and bit the hell out of her and kept it pushing. Like it never happened. Like, the girl is smooth, okay? Par. I said I wasn't gonna call you that. I'm sorry. My girl. That was smooth. That. So we find out that Deontay has left the game. And honestly, I'm not even mad with him. You know what I mean? Like I said, this game, these types of games are not cut out for everybody. Everybody cannot play these types of games mentally. You know what I mean? And I am a huge advocate for protecting your peace and your mental health. And if you felt in any way that this game was jeopardizing any of that, baby, pack your stuff up and go on and go home, okay? Because that is top priority. And so I get it. I'm not even mad, but Deontay is out the game. And we have now lost Max with a KS and Deontay. So I'm interested to see how the game is going to be played now, because Deontay was a voice. He was definitely a voice in the house. So now it's time for breakfast. And as we all know, breakfast is the opportunity for us to eat and find out who did not survive throughout the night. So all of the traitors make their way in first, right? It's Dan and Phaedra. And then Phaedra is asking Dan, like, okay, so who was it? Who did you guys end up going with? And Dan is like, I don't know, like Parvati did it, right? And so, of course, Parvati is the next one to come in. And so when she comes in, they're like, who did you pick? And Parvati is like, y'all don't know? Like, y'all really don't know who it was that got hit? And so they genuinely have no idea what Parvati did. And so Parvati lets them know it was Ekin-Su. And so Phaedra goes into this, oh child, not Ekin-Su, honey, not Ekin-Su, baby, not Ekin-Su. Oh Lord Jesus, not Ekin-Su, right? Because she had just voted for Ekin-Su at the round table, right? And so she's like, all of this heat is going to get brought on me because I'm the one that voted against her. And so that wasn't a good call to make. Voting for Ekin-Su or banishing Ekin-Su was not a great call to make for my game. And so Phaedra is like, you know, that's going to put some heat on me. So for the first time, I think we see Phaedra get a little shuffled. Rightfully so. She gets a little shuffled, right? So everyone starts rolling in for breakfast, right? And then Ekin-Su walks in. And when Ekin-Su walks in, the traitors are like, you know, and I'm like, you better put your poker face on, because get your life right, okay? Y'all should not look this shocked, and you should not be looking at each other. And this is what I'm saying. I need people to pay more attention, because they were actively looking at each other. Like, what do you said that you got rid of her, so why is she here? I thought y'all said, didn't y'all tell me? Like, they're having these conversations with their eyes as they're looking at each other, and no one is picking up on this, right? And so I'm not shocked, because two things happened. One, Deontay went home, and usually when someone goes home, it'll like stretch out the game in a way where no one will get eliminated. That's usually how it works. And then also the letter said that it would be a slow death. So in my mind, when it first happened, I thought that the person wasn't going to be banished for a couple episodes, right? And then just randomly in like episode 7 or something, this person was gone. So Alan lets them know exactly what happened last night. That the traitors did not meet in private, that they banished somebody in plain sight. Alan lets them know that the person is still in the room and that they were poisoned last night. And so everybody is thinking like, I was given a drink, I was this, and I did this, and I did this, and I drank this, and so like everyone's trying to figure out what happened last night, but because they was pulling them things back so heavy, the memory is not there. Everything is really fuzzy because everybody was throwing them back last night. So, you know, it's hard to pinpoint what happened, but for whatever reason, they have now decided that this makes Ekin-Su a traitor. Again, the house is loud and wrong, okay? They have collectively decided that this has to mean that Ekin-Su is a traitor. Not even realizing that the baby got poisoned. The girl got poisoned last night, but the narrative is now that she's the traitor. Side note, does anybody know what happened to Sandra's forehead? Like, she has this really like it's like a little Harry Potter mark on her forehead, and it was definitely not there in the beginning. So I just want to know, like, does anyone know, like, during which mission or something in the house? I don't know, but my girl definitely got something going on with her forehead. She didn't have that before. So what happened to my girl? Okay. So like I said, the people are speculating that Ekin-Su may be a traitor. And so Dan, and see this, Dan, this is where you're starting to break my heart, because I don't understand it. I don't get it, okay? But this is where Dan comes up with the idea. He's talking with Parvati, right? And they're walking down the hallways and they're having a conversation. And Dan goes, we have to give them something because everybody is out for blood. And if we at least give over one of the traitors, talking about Phaedra, if we give her over, then they will be happy, and the faithfuls will be like, oh, well, we got one of them, and they'll start to relax, and that will give Dan and Parvati an opportunity to reset and come up with a new strategy in order to be able to survive. And I get it. I get it. But I would have thought, especially with the statement that you made earlier, right, where Dan said Parvati would be the sacrifice. But for you to now say Phaedra, and this is all going back to this vote that she gave for Ekin-Su, right? Or at least that's what he's trying to say. In my personal opinion, oh, Dan. In my personal opinion, I think Dan is heavily intimidated by Phaedra. Like, heavily intimidated by Phaedra. Because of all the people that are being suspected of being a traitor, Phaedra's name has never come up, right? And she's playing such a great social game with the faithfuls that she easily blends in with one of them. Like, you would believe with your whole heart that Phaedra was a faithful. Expecting her to be a traitor is just not even on anyone's mind at this moment, right? And then also, if you go back and see, this is what I'm saying. This is why when I play the games and I say I think too much and I'm in my head too much and I pay attention to everything, go back to that very first conversation when Parvati meets with Phaedra and Dan and it's revealed who they are, right? The first thing Parvati does is she looks at Phaedra and she goes, oh my gosh, you are playing such a great game. I had no idea that you were, no one would suspect that you are a traitor. You are playing such a great game. And she was hyping Phaedra up, right? She never said that's Dan. She never said that's Dan. And Dan is known as being the player in every game that he plays. He is known as being the player. And so I think that moment paired with, you know, just the way Phaedra has been playing this game, I think that is starting to make him feel intimidated by her. Like, you know, she's got to go. She's got to go. And I think that's what's going through his mind. And I'm one of those people where I feel like you started this game with her. Like, you guys are the original traitors. You know what I mean? Y'all started this game together. So if there were to be a sacrifice, I feel like it should have been Parvati. Dan even says in his little confessional that of the three of them, she is the one that is most likely to make it to the end undetected. And so, you know, the more he speaks and the more I watch this play out, this is pure intimidation. You know, he realizes she's playing a better game and he's like, look, I want to be the last traitor standing, so I got to figure out how to get rid of my biggest threat. And she is, in fact, his biggest threat. I don't like it. I feel like he should be attacking Parvati first. If you want to give up some blood, some traitor blood to the faithfuls, it should be Parvati because she came on the scene last. But again, and I know you guys are like, you're just making excuses because you love Dan. I also love Phaedra. So don't get it twisted. I also love Phaedra. I'm just thinking strategically. I'm trying to give everybody grace. I am trying to give everybody grace, okay? I have to take into account Phaedra is never a part of the conversations, okay? And inside of the games, the person that you talk to the most, that's the person that you have the bond with and the person you're going to ride out with all the way to the end, okay? And all of the conversations we see during the day, not at night, we see them during the day. they are Dan and Parvati meeting up, strategizing, meeting up, talking. Like, the conversations are happening with the two of them. And so the more they talk, the closer they get. You know, we don't see conversations, and that is because, and I can only go by what Phaedra said, right? At first I thought they just weren't including her, and I was a little mad about that. But Phaedra made a statement, and she said, I do not interact with them. She doesn't. She made a statement that says she don't talk to them, she don't interact with them, she don't want to be seen with them. Okay? And so in making that choice, again, like I said in my previous video, that can be a pro and a con. It's a pro because you're never seen with them, but then it's a con because you're not a part of the conversations. You don't get, they're having conversations that you are not a part of. And so when it comes down to, okay, well, you know, one of the three of us gotta go down, it's going to be you. Because you're not there to say, hey, Dan, you know, maybe it might be time to check in on Parvati and get her on up out of here. You know what I mean? Cash in on Parvati. It might be time. Like, you're not there to say that. And so, I don't know, man. Dan, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart, especially knowing the future is just, I hate it. I hate this so much. And in true Dan fashion, he's not going to be the one to take the shot at her. He's going to set Parvati up to be the one to take the shot at Phaedra. Dan. So we get into today's mission, right? And this mission basically is a funeral procession. They are walking to the grave of the person who drank from the poisonous chalice. We know it's Ekin-Su, but they don't. So as they're walking, they're going to come across these clues that are going to let them know, basically it's process of elimination, right? They're going to let them know who did not get poisoned. So these people, the answers to these questions are the people who are safe, right? And so as they're going through, people are slowly being eliminated. Like, oh, okay, it's not me. I'm safe. I didn't get poisoned. And they're being saved, right? So they get all the way to the end, and there are 3 coffins sitting there. 3 coffins. And the last 3 people that are left are Ekin-Su, MJ, and Parvati. And so what they have to do is they have to get inside of the coffins, and the faithfuls and the traitors, they're going to take these black roses and they're going to put the roses inside of the coffin of the person that they think is poisoned, right? And so there are no shields on this mission. Nobody is safe. This is one band, one sound, okay? In order to win the money for this mission, they have to correctly guess who was poisoned. Now, of course, with all of the hoopla that followed behind MJ of what was going on, everyone thought that MJ was the person who got poisoned. And so they put all of the black roses in MJ's coffin. Phaedra and Dan do the same thing because honestly, there's no point in going against the grain. For what? For what? Okay? Put the roses over there with everybody else, right? And so they guess wrong. And so they lose the money for this mission. And then Alan walks over and closes Ekin-Su's coffin, and she is put into the grave, right? And so the whole house is like, Ekin-Su, Ekin-Su, Ekin-Su. It makes no sense. Why Ekin-Su, Ekin-Su, Ekin-Su? And so it's just, I didn't like seeing my girl leave like that. You know what? The way these eliminations are working, I don't like it. Okay? I am tired of seeing these innocent people get these punishments that belong to the guilty. I am tired of it. Ekin-Su ain't did nothing to nobody. She ain't did nothing to nobody. So I didn't, I don't like it. I don't like it. But it's the name of the game. And like I said, everybody is a number. And today, Ekin-Su, her number got pulled. And it is what it is. Oh my gosh. And so MJ is having a moment because she's like, hold on. Damn it. Now, why did all of these black roses come in this coffin? You know what I'm saying? Well, she like, why are all the roses over here? Why did y'all think that, and so she's realizing like, I got some work to do. So Ekin-Su is out. My girl. Ekin-Su is out. And everyone goes back to the castle, right? So when they get there, my girl Larsa, my girl Larsa, she is on a mission, okay? And she is like, I don't care what anybody is talking about. CT or Dan gotta go. One of them have got to go. So she rallies up the girls and she goes to the little cast photo wall. She's like, listen, one of these, I don't care which one, but that CT, that big old alpha male, or that damn Dan, I don't care. One of these two have got to go. And so because Sandra is a part of every conversation, okay, she is there when Larsa starts leading the charge for CT or Dan, and she immediately runs and say, hey, we got to get Larsa up out of here, because she's talking about CT and she's talking about Dan. So Larsa has got to go. Sandra, why? Like, I get it, but why? Like, she's on it. Like, not so much with CT, but damn it, if y'all, she's on it. She is on it. Y'all need her. She's on it. Oh my goodness, she's on it. But Sandra throws a wrench in that whole plan. As Larsa is going around making, you know, these declarations about CT and Dan, somehow the house shifts, and now Larsa is the traitor. Everyone is saying that Larsa is now the traitor. That is the topic of conversation. Janelle jumps up and says something about after Marcus is banished, Larsa held up her cup and said, cheers to Marcus. This had to be the dumbest. No, the peppermint situation had to be the dumbest reason to send somebody home. But next in line, this had to be the dumb, because she said cheers. She was trying to attach it to the fact that somebody had been poisoned, right? And so when she said cheers, it just made sense that had to do, it was dumb. To me, it was dumb. But again, when you're playing these games, all you have is time, space, and opportunity to speculate and be loud and wrong. That's all you have. That's all you have, okay? So I get it. I get it, Janelle. As a viewer, what? But as somebody who is in the game, it probably made the most sense to you because you're connecting dots that are not there. But when you have nothing to really work with, everything becomes evidence. Somebody can sneeze wrong. Oh, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? Everything can be a reason. And so they are now looking at Larsa. And then this whole topic of the Bravo alliance, okay? The housewives are now under fire because everyone is like, oh, the housewives stick together like glue. Those housewives are unbreakable. And I'm just like, when you say housewives, you have to realize Phaedra is going to be a part of that. So Dan and Parvati, I'm not saying you have to stick your neck out to try to defend her, but don't add fuel to the damn fire, okay? Because right now, in this game, she's your family, okay? They are the ops. You three are supposed to be family, and they are the people on the outside. So now we are at the round table, and like clockwork, Parvati brings up the housewives and that the housewives should be looked at, and because there's so many of them, at least one of them has to be a traitor or two of them has to be a traitor. She brings it up, and baby Phaedra collects her up real good. You hear me? I wish I could put the clip in here, but I don't want nobody trying to come after me for copyright, nothing. But baby Phaedra collects her up real good. Do you understand me? Like, don't do that. Don't come for us just because we are the housewives. Y'all are the gamers. These people are this. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't include me in that. So at this point, Phaedra is pissed. In her confessional, she pissed and she locked in because she like, we supposed to be one band, one sound. What are you doing? Why are you putting heat on me? First the Ekin-Su thing, and now you over here talking about the housewives. What's going on? What's the problem, friend? What's the problem, friend? So it's getting hot and it's getting ugly. On the flip side, in my opinion, these two, Phaedra and Parvati, having this argument kind of worked out in their favor because at least the people watching won't put those two together as working together in any capacity, right? And so even though it was dead wrong, I mean, it was so wrong, it was scandalous as hell, but the idea of them two potentially working together is now out of people's heads. If it was, I'm not saying that it was, because Phaedra is doing a hell of a job of flying under the radar, right? But if it ever were to be a conversation, it could easily be shut down because of this little exchange that they're having right now. So, you know, Pros and cons. Everything has a pro and a con. So now it is time for everybody to cast their votes of who they want to send home. And they ended up voting out my girl Larsa. And you know, that damn Parvati with this housewife seed that she has planted. Now the housewives are like public enemy number one. Okay, they have the biggest targets right now because of Parvati planting this seed, you know? And I'm just like, ugh. But they vote out my girl Larsa. Before she leaves, she lets them know that she is, in fact, a faithful and not a traitor. So they have failed yet again, loud and wrong, yet again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, baby, if there was one, okay? If there was one who was going to figure it out, she was the one. Because, I mean, baby, she was sniffing it out, okay? She was sniffing it out. But this is what I will say. And I've seen a lot of people give Dianne flack about playing a sucky game, right? Everybody who has pointed at him so far is gone. Okay? Marcus came to him and was like, you know, I am also looking at you. He's out of here. Larsa, Dan. She's out of here. You know what I'm saying? So he doing something. I'm not really a fan of the way he's doing Phaedra, but as far as like getting the people who can figure him out of the way, he's doing it. He is doing it. So I don't know. With their help, of course, they're definitely helping him get rid of the people that are going to call him out. But you know, damn, Larsa. I was not ready for her to go because she was going to be the one to sniff it out and get it done. My girl, oh, Larsa, my girl was going to get it done. I didn't know you before the show. I just knew that, you know, Michael Jordan's son was your man and Scottie Pippen was your ex-man. But girl, I'm glad I got to see you work. I'm glad I got to see you work. She was firecracker and she was on the right track. Man. So now Shereé is pissed. Welcome to the game, Shereé. My girl has showed up. Okay? She's pissed. She's like, y'all worried about the housewives and what we got going on. Y'all need to be looking at them gamers because the gamers are playing us. Period. Okay? And with the gamers, she's talking about the CBS, the Big Brother and the Survivor, and the challenge people. Sorry, and the MTV challenge people. All of the people who have played competition games before. Shereé is like, you need to look at them because they are playing us. Y'all worried about some housewives? Y'all worried about some housewives? You need to be worried about them gamers. But Shereé, Phaedra is a housewife gamer. That's the gag. We are realizing that Phaedra is a gamer housewife, okay? I love the way my girl is playing this game. Whew. So in any event, it is time for the traitors to meet. And baby, that little traitor meeting got hot. It got hot. Now, this was the first clip that I had saw online before deciding to watch the show. This was the very first clip that I had saw. And it is Phaedra gathering Parvati up, collecting her and getting her all the way together. Okay? Because she told her straight up. She was like, what you did was foul. And I'm playing this game very fair. She told Parvati to her face, she said, don't nobody in here even like you. The people don't like you. Okay? She said, everybody says that you're a traitor. They don't like you. She was digging into her. And at this point, you know, the gloves are off because you came at me first. So the gloves are off and she's just going into her. And Dan is sitting over there smiling like a damn Cheshire cat. How you say it? Cheshire? The damn little cat with the big old... He over there skinning and grinning, okay, thinking that he's out of the crossfire and that this is going to be a Parvati and Phaedra showdown, okay? And then my girl turns and says, the both of you. To let Dan know, like, I know it's you too. You're not in the clear. And baby, when I say you could hear a pin drop, because Dan tried to play stupid, right? He tried to play clueless. What's going on? What happened? What? And did you notice? Phaedra didn't even feed into that, okay? She was going in on Parvati and Dan tried to chime in. What happened? What? Phaedra completely ignored him, okay? Like, we're not about to do that. That we're not about to do. This, whatever this game is, we're not about to play that. So I'm going to finish here, but I'm going to get to you. Don't you even worry about it. And so my girl said what she had to say to them, and that was the end of the episode. That was the end of the episode. And so, you know, I immediately wanted to go into the next episode, but I was like, Devon, you know, pace yourself. You have to record after you watch, right? And so I wanted to go into the next episode because I have to know what is Phaedra feeling in this moment. You know what I'm saying? The people who are supposed to be your closest allies in the game have just shown you they are not for you at all. They are not for you. And when the time is right, they are going to push you out. And so what are you feeling in that moment? And how are you going to go through this game? You know, how are you going to navigate this game now with the knowledge that you have? Because where they messed up is they showed their hands. You know what I'm saying? If you was going to play her, you should have played her in secret. You shown your hands. And so now she has to play this game in a way where it's like I have to protect myself against the faithfuls, and I also have to protect myself against y'all. You know, and so y'all have given my girl a nugget. Thank you. Y'all have given her a nugget to help her to progress further into the game, but I think it was way too early for all of that. Way too early for all of that. Dan, you're breaking my heart. You are breaking my heart. But that is the end of episode 4. I'm so glad that you guys are taking this journey with me. If you liked this video, make sure you like this video, share, tell somebody to come and watch the video, okay? If you have not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn those notifications on. Why is there a frog in my throat? Make sure you turn those notifications on so you can be notified when I have new videos coming out, because they dropping like hotcakes, okay? Flapjacks, pancakes, waffles, whatever. They coming out hot. I love you guys with the love of the Lord. And until my next video, I'm out.